And here we go.
So QuickCade 1 is a relatively normal stage as it goes. Not too much going on here, but just memorize the flippy locations and get to the end as quickly as possible. So, what really interesting to say about 3D Blast to begin with, it's an isometric platformer released, I guess, sort of to cash in on that Donkey Kong Country hype that was going around at the time, but I'll leave it up to you to decide whether it's just as good. Personally, it's pretty good, but not as good as Donkey Kong. But the game's main feature is, even though it's on the Mega Drive, it's in pseudo 3D, and you've got 5 flickers to collect in each zone, or each part of the zone, then get to the end of the stage, at the end of the act, the end of the zone, done. So this is actually the first sort of instance of the homing attack in the Sonic series, but it's in the form of this orange shield thing. It's quite useful here, but I'm very bad at keeping it, so I'll be doing my best to do that throughout. Not too much more to say about TheGreenViper8 1, but one thing I will say is I expect a lot of sour police in the chat. There's many bangers throughout the Mega Drive version. Some in the Saturn as well, but that's not what we're playing, that's not what we're here for.
So like one thing to keep in mind as well is like making sure that you don't get hit, because when you get hit, your flickies like scatter all over the level, and it can create like more problems.
Yeah, this is a good place to bring up the introduction of some of the flickies. So we've already said that you need 5 of them, but they sort of act as your hit shield. You can't get hit once, or otherwise all your flickies sort of scatter. On top of that as well, there's some other annoying gimmicks with them, such as well, at least you don't like lose rings when you lose your flickies, but at the same time you don't want to lose them at all. Deposit them as quickly as possible is sort of meant to be the game plan, but in the speedrun, get all 5 at once, deposit all 5 of them at once. Don't play it strategically.
It's just that simple, isn't it?
Also, I think speaking on the sort of subject of music, a lot of you will recognise this if you've ever played Sonic Adventure, because it was remixed in there as well. Great one in there. Better here, because Mega Drive sound chip. Playing bad. There's one down here. Alright. I've given myself mental notes because I have a tendency to get lost. I'm not the world's best runner at this game. I just play because it's fun. Play because I can do it faster than the average person, but not faster than the world record by far.
Jella, one thing to note in this game as well is like Sonic's like there's like Sonic's like momentum. So like since there's also hills in like in the asymmetric like view, he's Jella, unlike the other games as well, he's like more like quick to the pace, where as soon as he starts like moving, he'll get to like the fastest possible.
Yeah, so sort of on the subject of the momentum, what you're meant to do is just, you sort of get a feel for it once you play the game, but meant to jump down slopes and run up slopes. That's sort of the best way to do it, so you'll still be doing that throughout. So, but for the most part, just run is the best way to build up speed, and occasionally jump as well at points, but that's how I tend to do it, so I don't know if it's necessarily the best method. Right, so this is the first boss fight of the game. It's a pushover. All the bosses in this game are pushovers, but however, it's not a pushover when you're going for the speedrun strats, and I think I've already messed this one up. So you can get in 2 hits at once, and I've already, done it wrong, so I might be getting a bad cycle here. I'm hoping I don't. Yep, too bad. So I can do this in sort of 3 cycles, but alternatively it has to be 4 if I do it wrong, which I have. Oh well, what can you do? So most bosses have some sort of way to stick with a very auto-scroller-esque, alleviate some of the problems that they have. This one is one of the worst of me, but they're still worse than this, and then there's some that are just plain auto-scrollers, nothing you can really do throughout them. So Rusty Ruin is pretty by the books again, except this introduces our first gimmick of the game, and this is, I don't actually know what the real name of this is, but it's Ballerina Sonic. That's what it's been dubbed. But the stage design doesn't get as sprawling as it does later on, so we're relatively safe here. We can just run the way the stage wants us to and not worry about getting lost. It's only sort of next zone onwards where the maze-like aspects of this game begin. But we're sort of at the mercy of all the gimmicks, to be honest, for this stage. Because there's no way you can alleviate them. Like some of them in later stages you can just jump around here. Nope, you have to break down these pillars with the ballerina dance. So slowly does it in those cases. Make sure not to jump out of it by accident, because then you have to reactivate it. Let's not lose a life. Nope, never mind.
So get a rip in the chat.
So this acts as our checkpoint system. The giant rings at the end of each section. I wish I didn't have to go to it this early on in the run, but hey, that's what nerves do to you after all. But a lot of these enemy designs as well, I don't know if it was intentional, but you can notice some inspirations from the rest of the Sonic series. This was 1996, so year after Knuckles Chaotix, therefore it's probably meant to be Vector and Charmy from the Team Chaotix. It's a fairly good chance they were meant to be, but while I've got a bit of downtime here as well, I should explain that if any of this game seems interesting to you from a programming side, because even though this was a very late Mega Drive game, it uses a lot of great technical tricks to achieve sort of the graphical effects that it does. The best one that we won't be seeing is the special stages, which are full-on 3D and have some great sort of scrolling techniques in them. Be sure to check out GameHeart on YouTube if you want to sort of see how all of these were programmed, because the creator of this game, John Burton, is very active and likes to explain how he made a lot of these Mega Drive games, including this one. Obviously, there's not quite the same resources for any of the other versions, but here, you know, we can pretty much see the entirety of how the game's made. Too bad. He's a bit inactive as of now, but yes, Rusty Reenact one done.
If you also wish to play this game, he released a director's cut on online, which adds a bit more like content as well.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. There's a director's cut which features various sort of changes and a level designer and I think a new badnik as well somewhere in the game, but we choose not to run that version because it just changes too much of the stuff that we like about it, and it was never commercially released. Therefore, it's a bit sort of, or you have to sort of run it on a flash cart, or people just don't like running games that weren't ever commercially released. But it's not like you don't have enough options to run it. You can run it through official means, such as the Steam emulator, which we're running on today, which you can buy the game and then you can use the 3D Blast DX patch on there.
I don't think we've mentioned as well, we're playing the category of like beat the game instead of like best ending.
Yeah, so this game has some weird category names. It has, I'm also messing up here. It has beat the game, which is any %, and best ending, which is 100%. I don't know why they're named like that, they just are. Also coming up here is a trick which takes a lot of aggravation, because many runs were reset to that in the beginning, so thanks to whoever found that trick. I actually don't know who you are, but you've made my life a lot easier. I appreciate that. Also, I think a note in relation to the Steam version is there's sort of two primary control methods, and you might say, well, there's tons of different controllers, so surely, you know, there's going to be different methods for everyone, but most people either choose to run analog stick or D-pad. So if you run D-pad, you run on Mega Drive, like the actual hardware. And if you're on analog stick, you tend to run on either GameCube or PC. Personally, an analog stick runner, I think this controls much nicer than it does on Mega Drive. But if you're much more inclined to official hardware, then that's a legal version. That's the one that a lot of top runners choose to run on. But I find this easier from a beginner's perspective to run on this version right here. If I could land on enemy as well, that'd be good. So coming up to the end now of Rusty Ruin. It's not one of my favourite stages in the game, but it's also not one of the worst by a long stretch. But coming up next is what I think most people would consider to be the absolute bane of their existence in the community. And not only that, it also has the worst music in the game, therefore it's automatically bad. And a quick little trick right there, just to speed up the transition, you don't break the pillars and it jumps you back into the ring a bit quicker. So, annoying auto-scroller boss time, except there is actually a trick to speed this up. Let's see how badly I do on it. Yeah, that's what I expected. Oh well. So I'll just have to do this quote-unquote normal.
Feels bad, man.
So you can stay on his hand for as long as possible, and what I was trying to do was damage boost onto his hand to begin with, but that just wasn't working out for me, so instead gonna have to try and get 2 hits when I'm only meant to get 1, which is still faster than doing it the normal way, but hey, definitely not world record anytime soon. I'm still quite happy with that. As long as it's faster than normal, it makes for a decent speed run. So, Spring Stadium. What nice is there to say about the stage? Not a whole lot. There's bumpers all over the place, there's spikes all over the place, slopes all over the floor, which are designed to sort of trap you into hitting an enemy. It's really not that great, so I'm going to try and make it as fun as possible, but it's just really not. So I have a homing attack shield here. I want to keep it for the entire stage. I'm not very good at that, but I'll try and do it anyway.
This is where jumping a lot to keep your momentum comes pretty big into effect.
I tend to do that, yeah. I tend to do a lot of jumping just to keep up momentum and also to avoid the spikes on the floor, because if you jump for some reason, it actually avoids the spikes. Also, that's slow. But yeah, if you jump the second you land on the floor, it puts the spikes back down. It's odd. Hey, programming, and we use it to our advantage. Maybe it was intended though. I'm doing a decent job so far at keeping the shield. Can we keep this up? That's what I want to know. It is convenient to keep it into the second section of the stage, because there is plenty here that can go wrong. Also, this is not the way I normally go, but hey, do what works.
You bent the new strategies, man, aren't you?
Yeah, I brought out the new strategies which I wasn't even doing in practice about an hour ago, so whatever works, works. This homing shield is good. In fact, I'm doing a very good job of keeping it. I'm impressed with myself. Nope, never mind. Spoke too soon. Am I gonna... Okay, good. No, this isn't the stage I'm thinking of. There's a flicky that I always tend to miss in Spring Stadium 2, so also if I ever lose a flicky and it runs off, please shout at me, because I probably haven't seen it at that point if I haven't picked it up already. End of Spring Stadium 1, thankfully. One more stage to go of this. Right, so if you thought that one was bad, this one is somehow worse. Enemies are even more sporadically placed, there's more spikes, there's more place to lose them as well, and flickies tend to go into the never regions on these stages if I accidentally get hit, which I seem to be doing quite a lot today. So let's avoid doing that, and let's keep trucking. These spikes on the floor are probably my least favourite gimmick in the stage, those sort of the black holes ones. There's two different types of spikes, you can differentiate the two. I'm not going to go that way and get the invincibility because I'm going to today. It's the one I normally miss. Hey, I got it this time, except I didn't. Whoops. Ignore that. And I can get another homing attack shield here. Let's just hope I don't lose it. I'm not feeling hopeful though. Right. This is another example of sort of the speed on inclines that I sort of want to avoid. Also, I'm bad at jumping into this ring because the isometric gameplay isn't too bad here, but it gets a bit difficult to tell even with the drop shadow sometimes where you are. So if I'm ever sort of stumbling around for a bit, that's why. Also, least favourites. So, what else? Oh no, what else is there really to say here in Spring Stadium? It's the same as the last stage. It's relatively free.
Yeah, I think one good question would be to ask is how does one come to run Sonic 3D though?
How does one competitively, did you say?
Yeah.
You don't. I guess in this game it's just sort of memorize the level design, and then after that it's once you've got the level design down pat, the next sort of time saves you want to work on is little movement things. And I think a good way as well is just try not to lose the flickies at all, because losing flickies is equal to losing time pretty much. Not a big fan of it myself. One more section, but this one also has one specifically annoying badnik, which likes to lurk in a spot, which means I automatically get hit, so we're going to try and do our best to avoid it. Quite a few of these spike enemies seem to be catching me off guard today, and I'm not really sure why. I'm rolling into them, but rolling isn't really doing a great job. So this is the enemy right here. I want to bait him over to me relatively quickly. Come on. There we go. And that's the final enemy of the stage. I'm going to take my victory here. Roll out. And that Spring Stadium gone, thankfully. But it's still not quite done because we got an irritating boss fight coming up just next. I wish we didn't, but we do. So, this is the Baby Rage boss fight. Get out your Baby Rage from the chat, because he likes to wail his arms when he gets a bit angry when he gets hit. Can't do anything here, but afterwards I've got some cycle abuse stuff I can do. So come on, Eggman, lower your hands. There we go. So this is where the stupidly optimized boss comes in. So I can get up here on this platform, keep jumping obviously to avoid the spikes, and then I need to jump straight into his head. You just sort of get a feel for the timing after a while. I'm gonna take some time loss and take some rings, because I'd really rather not do this. as dangerously as I seem to be doing it. Dangerously is very generous term here because I ain't doing too much wrong. That was a fairly good boss fight for my standards. I'm impressed with that. And this is best music zone, as everyone likes to call it. So get your sour pleases, get your whatever emotes you like in chat. But it's actually a fairly standard zone. After that zone, we've got back onto something more normal. There's still some gimmicks here, but I think this is a much nicer stage to play. But there is one panic here that annoys me, and it's these snowmen, because you just saw what happened there. The flickies go into an icicle, then have to break the icicle as well, which is a bit slow. I can spin dash into them, but some of them they purposely, strategically place inside sort of bumper fields, which means I can't spin into them very easily. So that's 5 there. The snowmen are really the only ones I have to watch out for, to be honest. I'm not too fussed about any of the other flicky badniks here. They're not really all that irritating. After the last stage, anything is taken. Also auto-scroller, because we need to show off the ability that the Mega Drive has to do 3D or something. Not too sure.
To have like one thing to know as well, if you wonder where those pipes came from in Sonic Mania, that turned you into ice cubes. Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's another thing about Sonic Mania. It has a lot of references to like other games, and this is certainly one of them that for some reason it references. Don't know why. It's not even a Sega game. Also, what I did there was I did some. So you can jump. You can hold down the jump button in mid-air, and you'll jump on the first frame you land. It's only really useful there for me, at least. But I sometimes use it to jump into the goal ring quicker. Otherwise, not too useful, but I can use it anyway. This stage seems to also be a very auto-scroller heavy stage. There's a lot of places where it just requires you to put down the controller, and that's a good thing in this game because sometimes you just need a rest. There's just too much stuff thrown at you at once, but otherwise I'm wanting to play. That's why I'm speedrunning. I don't play to watch, although I probably should with this. That was bad. That was worse. Right, at least I got it, and the green flicky stayed in place. This would probably be a good time to mention flicky behavior. I was saying it later in the run, but each color of flicky has a completely different behavior pattern. So red likes to jump in place, green just does whatever, blue is relatively normal, and red, I don't entirely, oh sorry, not red, purple. What does purple do? Something, but red's the most annoying one. That's the one you're going to see me complaining at the most. Probably shouting at it at points. Green also likes to run off during slope sections, and there's one coming up later on which 3D Blast people already know what slope it is coming up.
It is the legendary slope.
The legendary slope, we're not going to reveal the name because just even saying the name I've heard sends shivers down the spines of those in the community in the salt mine. By the way, shout outs to all the boys and grills in the 3D Blast salt mine, all the people watching from all the people watching from my server as well, much appreciated, and keep donating to QuickCade while you're at it, because it's all for a good cause, people. No, don't do that. Occasionally I can get lucky, and my flickies like to not run off. They do, though, most of the time. Is that? No! What have I done? Where's it gone? There it is. Green's irritating as normal, because it runs off the side of the stage. Runs off screen, don't like that.
That's pretty chill so far, this level, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty chill zone. Ha, we got that one out of the way. These snowmen could play ball. Sometimes they have really good patterns, other times they don't. There's probably a way to like manipulate them. Goodness. Like there are with other badniks, but I don't know of them, so we're just gonna keep going. No! Please stop doing that. Right, Penguin, you've been relatively nice to me today, so you don't get shouted at. Everyone else does, though.
There was, of course, the other live version of this game released at the same time. Was the Saturn version?
Yeah, I've accidentally mentioned it multiple times, but there's really not too much different about the Saturn version. But the Mega Drive version is the third one, just because it's on every single console under the sun. Like, seriously, think of one, and it's probably on it. I'm that serious about it. Every generation has had a version of this game. Every console within said generation. Your PC's probably had it about 7 different times. You probably own it at some point. Someone's gifted it to you on Steam as a joke present, and it's not a meme run. It's also not a meme game, but your friend has thought it was funny. They make you suffer and play 3D Blast, and it's pretty sadistic of them. That's coming from someone who plays this game regularly. So, thankfully, I'm out of here now. I can't get trolled by these snowmen anymore. I can't get trolled by my flickies, but I'm sure Volcano Valley is just coming up, and that has plenty of spots that I can get trolled.
So like, what a way to break the ice, right?
Yeah, this is a good icebreaker after all. Right, this is surprisingly an auto-scroller boss. There is absolutely nothing I can say about this, because, look, he comes to the floor, I hit him, and he goes back up. I wait for him to drop an item, and he comes back to the floor. This is incredibly interesting. It's dull. It doesn't even have good music. I can't comment on that. That's normally my go-to when there's a lull in the run. Nope, not here. I'm sorry, June. This isn't one of your best. The reason it wasn't remixed later on. But I don't really know what the logic was for designing any of these bosses. Like, why are they all auto-scrollers? I guess it's because you just needed padding to the game, because the game is really short otherwise. Even like outside of speedrun mode, you can beat it, you know, like an afternoon, unlike most Sonic games. This indicates to me that he should be dead. Yeah, there we go. That's the world's easiest boss down. Only really rivaled by one boss coming up in just a second. But Volcano Valley is now getting into the part of the game which, instead of being irritating, is just trolling at this point. Because we have a new type of flicky. We have Lava Red flicky. But that doesn't really do anything too irritating. It's just the original red and original green that are still going to be getting on my nerves. So I'm going to take this backup ring box just in case. Also, another thing in the stage is there's lava, obviously. I'm going to get this as well. Nope, I'm not. But the problem with the lava is it spits at you like real lava would. But that's a problem because when you try to cross it, sometimes it randomly decides, no, I'm not going to let you cross. It spits lava at you and you get hit. And your flickies like to stay in the lava. They don't like to come back to shore. So you're going to have to take a lot of different hits to just try and even get them back. That's if you don't die in the meantime, if you have enough rings. So we're going to try and avoid doing that. I really hope we can, because otherwise... whoops. That's what I wanted to do just after I got this one. But otherwise, yeah, that's another flicky that likes to troll me because I landed in a lava by accident. Volcano Valley 1 is definitely the harder of the two. Volcano Valley 2 is pretty free, so I'm playing this fairly cautiously. I know I've played the entire thing fairly cautiously, but hey, that's marathon strats. By that I mean marathon nerves. Playing it off as an excuse, right? I think that's it. Yeah, that is. I always like to miss a flicky there as well, so I have to check my counter just before I do that. Lose all my speed there always. Drops me straight into the lava. I really should learn how to avoid doing that. I normally do, just not here, where I actually need to do it.
There's some part of the game as well, losing your momentum just kills you.
Yeah. This is another annoying gimmick as well, because you have to spin dash on these, and you would think it's annoying that you wait, but no, it has a tendency to kill you as well if you accidentally land underneath it. So that's the bane of many a casual playthrough, as are many other things in this game, but we shouldn't come mercy to them in this run here, I hope at least.
So like, you were complaining about this level, or to actors would say, but it gets like way worse later.
It does get way worse later, yeah, but Volcano Valley Act 2 is actually one of my favourites. Let's see if I can get the shield bounce. Cool, got it. So doesn't really do anything. It just saves me hitting the lava and then having to scatter back my flickies. But if I get it, it means, hey, I'm probably doing some movement things right, I guess. That probably means I'm doing some movement things right. Wow, that was swag completely. This stage, yeah, it's surprisingly not irritating. You really don't have to deal with lava much here. Am I forgetting something? No, I'm not. I'm thinking of the second section of the zone instead of the first one. Whoops. Hate these ladybug things. Cool. So that shield bounce is mainly the only thing of worry, really, for me at least. I just want to make sure that I have enough momentum to get over some of these sections. But I've got a flame shield, and flame shields block me from touching the lava, as you can see there. Except some lava things still hurt me. I don't know how programming works, but probably should have checked that one before you release the game, just saying. I always tend to miss this one, so we're going to get it immediately, even if it's not faster. I don't know what is the fastest route for this stage. I'm going to loop back around here. Nope. It would have been nice to keep that, but hey, what can you do? Would have been nice to keep my flickies as well. No! Stop doing that. Come back here. Cool. Right, now that means I just don't have to risk going back through the lava again when I'm playing quite badly. So, I only have to go through the level once, so I'd rather get it out of the way than losing all my momentum and get on the run up in the first place. And thankfully that's this stage done. And coming up next is what intends to be a pretty difficult boss fight, but is actually surprisingly, in my opinion, the easiest thanks to this new, thanks to this exploit. See how it goes. So go over here, grab some rings, grab some safety rings. Stand over here, and I think you can already see where this is going. Yep. They check for this? Probably. Did they expect me to do this? Nope. I can just damage boost through that one bit of flame there, and dead. Also, lava doesn't hurt you when the boss finishes, or anything doesn't hurt you when the boss finishes, so just do whatever you want. Go crazy. Jump off all the walls, I guess. Gene Gadget Act 1, this one's okay. Gene Gadget Act 2 is where things really get kicked up a notch, but this is where the gimmicks get turned up to 100. They throw everything at you, such as these little laser pellet things. I'm going to try to do my best to avoid them, but yeah, this is where Red Flicky comes to be an absolute pain. This is also where I should avoid losing my Flickies, seriously. A lot of tubes in this stage. Wait, did you go back up? I think you did go back up, didn't you? Nope. Cool. Thank you. Sometimes the Flickies are able to actually travel through the tubes, and they'll travel back, even though they just travelled there, etc. So, come on, that happens. Green normally has a trait of running down slopes, however, it's decided not to do that, it just inconvenienced me the most. Also, remember the spikes from... what have I done?
I think you left one when you were, like, into the tube, actually.
I definitely have, haven't I? Seriously,
I should have pointed out, like, sorry.
Oh, yeah, there we go, there's another red one. I had just a gut instinct I'd left one. Should have checked it, didn't check it. But...
on the bigger levels, it just turns into a proper, like, search everywhere instantly.
Well, another nice feature of the DX version of this game is it actually has a Flicky tracker, which should have been in here all along, in my opinion, but nope, instead you've got to manually search for it, which can turn into an absolute game of hide and seek in these later levels. In Green Grove, it's in the corner where I started. Here it's, nope, it's in your back pocket, apparently. For some reason they put two of these pufferfish over here. I also lose all my stuff again. Also, another annoying gimmick, there's landmines now. There's landmines, there's turrets, there's electricity floors, there's fans. Yeah, they really want to make sure that you get your money's worth out of this game. This is 80s arcade games ramped up to 11, seriously. So that's that one. I think there's one more somewhere, I'm being dumb. There it is. I really like the pufferfish in this stage, like seriously. I'm also going to play it safe, wait for it. There we go, thank you. No! Stop doing that! This is why they shouldn't put anything over fans, because I automatically go into the fan state, which then impacts my ability to actually hit anything, because it just leaves you open for attack rather than being in your ball state. So if you thought this stage was already looking bad, oh boy, wait for Gene Gadget Act 2, because that's the ultimate finale, even though it isn't the final zone. You really get the feeling that they should have put the zones the other way around in this game. They should have had a bit of a shuffle up, because some zones are seriously harder than others, even though they come after the hard zones, or after the easy zones, something like that. Isometric gameplay screwed me over because I couldn't see his shadow. I forget, I'm not entirely sure if this is the way I'm meant to go. No, it is, okay. So I always go this way to get an extra life, just because there is one more spot that I can get screwed over here, so I didn't want to go and do that, I'm correct. It is a backup strat, but hey, backup strats in this stage are needed, at least for me, and not needed for everyone. And that is the final Flicky, and of course, in my own fashion, I miss the last goal ring.
It gets pro strats, man, doesn't it?
Pro strats, what can I say? I've got all of them. Totally. Stored away. I'm just not using them.
All on world record pace, isn't it?
World record, yeah, world record for the slowest run at least. So what's coming up here is something that has been dubbed by the 3D Blast community as the Slope of Rage, and I'm not looking forward to this, but I reckon I have a chance of one-shotting it, so I'm going to go and get this badnik, which we would normally get coming off the slope, if I can actually grab it. And I'm going to get one more, and then I'm going to introduce you to everyone's favourite level design set piece. So let me just come up here. Here we go. No. Turrets. Seriously. Let's just get a ring just to be safe. Nope, let's not. I'm bad, seriously, at dodging these turrets, because even though they're not random, I just tend to fall into their traps. Right, here we go. Just about time. About to go through one more tube. They want to delay it because they know the suspense is building. Slope of rage. Right, so I got to go to the right, then the left, then the right. I'm going to start by going to the right, but every single time if you mess up, you fall down, you have to start it all again. So, get that one. That's flippy number 1. I actually want to go on here. That's flicky number 2. Okay, it's going well. As long as I don't mess it up. No, don't do that, don't do that. No! Ah, so close. Right, so I've got to go back down here and wait for this flicky to come up, so that's lost me a ton of time. You gonna do it? Seriously? Where are you? Right, so that is vastly impacting my ability to actually play the game, because now I can't clear the stage, so I'm going to buy time. He's not there. Was that it, really? In there? Cool. Right, so now I have to go back down the slope. Seriously, that couldn't have gone any worse if I tried.
As Viper said, it does lead to like severe time loss.
Severe time loss, severe rage as well. Right, just get out. I'm not bothered anymore. Just do whatever necessary to get out. So that's still the worst section of the stage. For some reason, section 2 is actually easier in comparison. I'm thankful for that. Seriously thankful. Despite that, I still get hit. Damn it. Right, there's still a few places I can get hit here, so I'm going to take every opportunity I can just to do that, because I want to show myself up at American, of course. Nope. Yep, what I expected. What I expected again. Right. So I need to sort of, that's my backup strat, is to just take a hit there, but I ideally wanted to bait that one so I didn't have to take a hit, but I did. So coming up here, and then 2 more, and I'm, no. Go on, please. Right. He's been relatively nice. He could have gone all the way back down to the bottom. And 1 more. No. Right. Patience. Pays off. And if you thought that was bad, we got an auto-scroller boss fight again. There's no way to alleviate this one. So, it's time to buy time by talking nonsense.
Indeed.
So, this is a treadmill boss. Eggman doesn't seem to be losing weight, obviously, because he's in his mech yet again. It looks the exact same as it does in every other boss fight, but we can avoid running because you can just, I don't even know what to call this. We're just sort of skidding against the wall and Sonic stops moving. So, this makes this boss fight a bit easier, or a bit more of an auto-scroller, because I don't even have to do anything this time around, except for when something like this comes. Slight danger. Oh no, I still took damage anyway. 3, and then it's 3. See, so you know. Okay. I shouldn't need to go and get more rings. I should be good to go here.
The pattern is real.
Yeah, we've gone from the slope of rage to the treadmill of boredom. This really is not an improvement. Trust me. I'd rather play the game and rage than not play it at all. I also now need to speed my way back. Okay, good. 1 more hit should do it, if I'm remembering correctly. Take some time to look at Sonic running. Isn't that good running animation? There we go, that's that done. And we got 1 more zone, which is dead easy in comparison to what we did. Because pacing and game design, I guess.
We are on the route.
Also, Panic Puppet, this is another one you'll recognise. This was in Sonic Adventure as well, in the kart racing section. It's a tune, again, it's not a shot, there's a lot of them. But here is the final stage where we have to actually collect the flickies, and as you can see, we're only collecting them out of capsules, we're not collecting them out of badniks anymore. I'll leave you to decide whether you prefer this or not. Also, I hate this slope, by the way. I just thought I'd point this out because I could be here for a while. Nope. Yes. Thank you, Slope. I got out of there relatively scot-free. I've sometimes got stuck there for like a minute plus because physics and drop shadow aren't working to my advantage. So there's only 5 flickies in the stage. We don't have another section after this, so obviously go as quick as possible, play as reckless as possible because you don't have to worry about getting sent back to the last checkpoint. There's only 1 left. This one particular flicky up here sucks because turret is pretty much why. Very strategically though, you can get it just fine. And that's all. That's pretty much. I've forgotten something, haven't I? Whoops. Typical me. Yep. It's the one that I always miss. Bad luck. Bad luck. No, come on. I don't want to jump over the edge. That's the problem I'm having here. Right. There we go. Good. Otherwise, I'd have to do the slope of rage again. And that's another slope of rage. It's not as bad as the last slope of rage, but it's bad enough.
It's a mini one, isn't it?
Yeah, one mini one is one last screw you to the player who's purchased this game with their hard-earned cash. That's the final flicky of the stage. I should have got it on the way there. I didn't. Who cares? Also, we got an invincibility monitor. Too bad it finishes once we get out. That really was rather pointless. But hey. Final flicky stage done. 1 more after this, and it's a bit of an easy one as well. But hey, there's one cool little thing that you're going to see in the final stage. Hope it will make you laugh at least at home if you haven't seen it before. So Panic Puppet 2, we can just run straight to the end. It's a short level as well, but there is one thing that's still going to get in our way. One last annoying gimmick, and one gimmick which we don't even have to mess about with because we don't play it. Also, fun fact, if you any of the traps in this stage where it requires you to sort of run in a narrow corridor, if you run against the left wall, they never damage you because they didn't bother to check that. Despite that, I was still gonna, you know, not risk anything dumb like I did just there anyway. Ignore me. But yeah, here we go. A large model of Eggman because for some reason he just built this. Probably with taxpayers' money as well. Was it worth it? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But this is the last annoying gimmick. We have to do some waiting. But if you notice anything about the last slope I mentioned, you can actually clip through the top of here and fall back down. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to play it patiently. I'm not going to try and speed through because otherwise I'll fall actually through. No, never mind.
You can actually die on that lift as well.
Yeah, you can die on this. I don't know what it is. The lift. Yeah, that's a good name for it. Still managed to find a way to fall through the slope, even after saying I would swear I wouldn't, but oh well. So after this, we've got 1 more of those, right? But then it's home free. Come on, quick, good. There's no way to do this without taking damage at least as far as I know, so just take the hit. Don't fall down the holes, bad, and I don't know. I'll leave it up to you to decide what you're snorting through that nose. Yeah, taking the sniff, taking some speed, and it's onto the final boss. There's technically a true final boss, but we don't play it because we don't get the Chaos Emeralds. If you want to watch someone get the Chaos Emeralds, watch a better runner than me. So there's 3 phases to this final boss, and on the 3rd phase I'll tell you just before time, but what we've got to do is we've got to bait him into slamming his arm down, and once he does that 4 times, he's dead. Or once he does that 4 times, his arm's dead, should I say. He's got a bit of arm ache, can't continue on after that. I don't know, it's just too chronic, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Slam down, right, that's the 1st phase done. That's probably the most, actually, quote-unquote difficult of the phases. This one, he fires fire. You have to dodge the fire. All you have to do is literally run round in a large circle and he never touches you. Despite that, I still found a way to mess it up. This is not too hard of a phase because as long as you just, you know, take a long enough of a route, the fire never actually touches you. If you thought this was challenging for a final boss, just wait, because seriously, there is one last treat coming up, one last sight of relief from Breeding Blast. Right, there we go. That's the final hit on that one, and time is coming up once the final hit is taken, so we've still got 8 more hits. But fun fact, even though only the left side is flashing, on this phase he takes damage on both sides. So I can just stand here, permanently jump. His attacks will never really do anything. So now we just need to play the counting game. I believe this should be the 4th here, if I can count. Prove it. But seriously, like, you only get like one of his energy balls out when it's meant to be like 30 on screen at once. That's how broken this method is. So this has been Sonic 3D Blast. I've been TheGreenViper8. Who have you guys been? Oh, whoops. Still managed to take a hit, and that's been time.
That's finishing. Good going, Viper.
Cheers. Right, so there's still one last side relief from this game because we've got a bot during the credits. Seriously, this is the most Sourpleys worthy track in my opinion. And this game's worst ending is just a bit blunt. It just says, yeah, you didn't win. Try again next time. You lost. The world's conquered. Goodbye. This has been Sonic 3D Blast.